Hi friends, this is your Yoganandam, biology lecturer from Edall Academy YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to discuss one of the biology full test paper with detailed solutions. From this paper, we are going to discuss 90 questions with detailed solutions. Before going to the topic, those who are watching this video, you are requested to like, subscribe and share to your friends. Let us continue the question and answer. Question number 1. Water potential is determined by. The concept of water potential was given by Statier and Taylor in 1960. It can be defined as the free energy per mole of any particular chemical species in a multi-component system is the chemical potential of that species. The chemical potential of water is called as water potential. It is denoted as psi minus W or psi W. Solute potential or osmotic potential denoted as psi S. Pressure potential or turgor pressure is denoted as psi P. Metric potential is the absorption of affinity of water to any colloidal substances or surface of plant cells. It is denoted as psi W equal to psi S plus psi P or OP plus TP. So the answer for this question is option A. Question number 2. From the following, which taxonomic ranks contain organisms most similar to one another? Taxonomic hierarchy is the system of arrangement of taxonomic categories in descending order. It was introduced by Linnaeus in 1751, who initially proposed five categories such as class, order, genus, species, and variety. However, the variety was arbitrated and four new categories were introduced. Thus, the seven obligate categories in descending order. Species, it is the basic taxonomic category which consists of individuals that resemble more closely than individuals of other species. So the answer for this question is option D, species. Question number 3. Restriction endonuclease are utilized in genetic engineering as. Restriction endonuclease or restriction enzyme is an enzyme that cleaves DNA into pieces or fragments at or near specific sites called as restriction sites. GAATTC is the recognition sequence for enzyme ECORI. They are extensively used in recombinant DNA technology and are often known as molecular scissors. So the answer for this question is option D. From the given four statements, B and C both are correctly given. Question number 4. Following hepatitis which is not transmitted parenterally. Hepatitis is defined as the inflammation of the liver, usually due to viral infections, but sometimes it may also result for toxic agents. Hepatitis A and E are transmitted due to ingestion of contaminated food or water, whereas the other types of hepatitis such as B, C and D are transmitted by parental through contact or infected body fluids which include receipt of contaminated blood or blood products. So the answer for this question is option A, hepatitis A. Question number 5. Match the column 1 with column 2 and choose the correct option. See the given tabular column. While you are seeing the column 1 and column 2, first one is A. Sickle cell anemia. It is a autosomal recessive disease. Therefore, it can be transmitted from parents to offspring when both male and female individuals are carriers. That means heterozygous for the gene. The disease is controlled by single pair of alleles HBA and HBS. Second one is Down syndrome. It was first described in 1866 by Langdon Down. The disorder develops due to trisomy of chromosome number 21. The disease is also known as Mongolian idiocy. It is an autosomal chromosomal abnormality. C. Klinefelter syndrome. It was first described in 1942 by Klinefelter. The disorder develops due to the trisomy of the sex chromosome. The disease is seen only in males. It is an autosomal chromosomal abnormality. D. Turner syndrome. It was first described in 1938 by Turner. The disorder develops due to the monosomy of sex chromosome. This disease is seen only in females. It is an autosomal chromosomal abnormality. So the correctly matching option is option B. Question number 6. Operon, a repressor, is synthesized by. The lac operon is an operon or group of genes with a single promoter. The genes present in the operon codes the protein that allows the bacteria to process the lactose as an enzyme source. Regulator gene, it helps to code for the repressor protein. Z gene, code for beta galactosidase. Y gene, it codes for permease. A gene, that is A gene, it codes for transacetylase. Thus, in lac operon, lactose works as an inducer. So, the answer for this question is option B, regulator gene. Question number 7. MOET, a superior female animal is induced to superovulate by administering. The technique in which the cow is induced to ovulate 6 to 7 ova per estrous cycle by injecting gonadotropic hormones like follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone is called as superovulation. These eggs are allowed to fertilize and then the embryos are transferred to the uterus of the surrogate mother. Answer is option B, follicle stimulating hormone. Question number 8. Oxy Tetracycline is obtained from. The bacterium Streptomyces rhymosus is commercially used for industrial production of the broad spectrum antibiotic Oxy Tetracycline. This antibiotic is effective against a wide variety of bacteria. Oxy Tetracycline works by interfering with the synthesis of essential proteins inside the bacteria. Because of absence of these proteins, the bacteria cannot undergo growth and reproduction, thus resulting in the substantial reduction in the bacterial population. So, oxytetracycline limits the spread of infection of the bacteria, and remaining bacteria eventually get killed by our immune system. So, the answer for this question is option A, Streptomyces rhymosus. Question number 9. From which of the following mixtures Miller synthesized simple amino acids in his experiments? The primitive atmosphere on Earth was reducing environment and not oxidizing. This was due to absence of free oxygen. Here Miller used hydrogen, ammonia, methane and water vapor to produce amino acids. So the answer for this question is option B. Question number 10. The transgenic monkey having gene for green fluorescent protein, that means GFP, was. The transgenic monkey having the gene for green fluorescent protein was ANDI. GFP gene was isolated from jellyfish. The main motive was to show that the foreign gene can be inserted into the monkey's chromosome and produce a functional protein. GFP gene was chosen because the protein produced will emit a fluorescent green glow that can be seen through a microscope. So the answer for this question is option D, ANDI. Question number 11. Biomagnification is caused by which of the following? Biomagnification is referred to any random concentration of toxins such as pesticides like DDT, BHC, that is benzene hexachloride, copper sulfate, and aldrin are heavy metals in the tissues of tolerant organisms at successive higher levels in a food chain. In the fat containing tissues of organism, these pollutants generally accumulates. If we take an example of DDT in the aquatic food chain, the concentration of DDT is increased at a successive tropic level starting from 0.003 parts per billion in water. It can ultimately reach 25 parts. So the answer for this question is option D. Both B and C are answer for this question. Question number 12. Asexual reproduction leads to. Asexual reproduction is a mode of reproduction or multiplication in which new individual develop from the single parent features of asexual reproduction, rapid increase in number, production of clones, no genetic variability. So all the three options are correctly given. So the answer for this question is option D, all of the above. Question number 13. Mark the incorrect statement regarding contraception. Rhythm method is a natural method of contraception in which couples avoid intercourse from date 10 to 17th of the menstrual cycle because ovulation can occur during this phase. Hence, the chances of fertilization are quite high. In withdrawal method, the male withdraws his penis just before ejaculation. Thus, insemination is avoided. In breastfeeding, menstrual cycle is absent and therefore ovulation does not occur. It lasts only up to 6 months after partition. Condoms also protect the user from sexually transmitted diseases apart from preventing unwanted pregnancy. Example, Nirod. So the answer for this question is option C. So that is incorrect about contraception. Chances of fertilization are less during 10 to 17 days of menstrual cycle. Question number 14. From the following statements, how many statements are correctly given? Statement A. Wind pollination is quite common in grasses. That is correctly given. Hydropily is linked to about 30 genera, mostly in monocots. That also correctly given. Both wind and water pollination flowers are not very colorful and do not produce any nectar. So that also correctly given. So from the given statements, all three statements are correctly given. So the correct option is option D. All are correct. Question number 15. The vertical distribution of different species occupying different levels in an ecosystem is known as. Interaction of biotic and abiotic components results in physical structure that is characteristic for each type of ecosystem. Stratification, the vertical distribution of different species occupying different levels is called as stratification. Answer for this question is option B, stratification. Question number 16. From the following statements and select the correct options. Here totally there are two statements are given. See the first statement. Out of every 10 animal species on this planet, 7 species are insects. Yes, that statement is correctly given. Among animals, insects are the most species rich taxonomic group, accounting for more than 70% of total. Hence, out of every 10 animals on this planet, 7 species are insects. Second option B, the number of fungi species in this world is more than that combined total of species of the fishes, amphibians, reptiles and mammals. So that also correctly given. The number of fungi species around 72,000 in the world is more than the sum total of fishes, amphibians, reptiles and mammals. Fungi having greater thermal tolerance are able to thrive and diversify. So the answer for this question is option C. Both A and B are correctly given. Question number 17. is carried out in seminiferous tubules of testes, where the germ cells develop into male gametes with the help of Sertoli cells and androgens. These tubules are linked to vasa efferentia via the reed testis. The vasa efferentia opens into another axillary duct called epidermis, which opens into ducts of deferens, vas deferens, that is otherwise called as vas deferens, which ascends to the abdomen and loops over the urinary bladder. It receives a duct from the seminal vesicles, which opens into the urethra as the ejaculatory duct. So the correct sequence is option B. Seminiferous tubule, reed testis, vasa efferentia, epidermis, vas deferens. Question number 18. From the following statements, how many statements are true and how many statements are wrongly given? From the given statements, first A is intrafascicular cambium develops in between secondary xylem and secondary phloem during the secondary growth of plant organ. So that is false. As of intrafascicular cambium develops in between primary xylem and primary phloem during the primary growth of plant organs. So A is wrongly given. B. Intrafascicular cambium develops from the cells of medullary rays. So that is true. C. The vascular cambium is generally more active on the inner side. That also true. D. The vascular cambium ring cuts off secondary xylem away from the center. That is false. So from the given four statements, A and D wrongly given, B and C are correctly given. So the correct option is B. Question number 19. Primary producers of deep sea hydrothermal vent ecosystem are bacteria belonging to chemosynthetic autotrophic category obtain energy for the synthesis of food by oxidizing certain inorganic substances like ammonia, nitrates, nitrites, ferrous ions, etc. Thus, they do not utilize light as an energy source. The chemical energy thus obtained is trapped in ATP molecules and then it is used in carbon assimilation with the help of hydrogen from some sources other than water. It is hydrogen sulfide used as hydrogen donor. So the answer for this question is option B. Chemosynthetic bacteria. Question number 20. Which among the following is incorrect? The juxtaglomerular apparatus plays a complicated regulatory position. A fall in glomerular blood pressure, that is GFR, can set off the juxtaglomerular cells to secrete renin, leading to the conversion of angiotensinogen in the blood to angiotensin 1 and further to angiotensin 2. The later conversion is carried out with the help of angiotensin converting enzyme as a powerful vasoconstrictor. So the answer for this question is option D. Angiotensin 2 is a potent vasodilator is given. That is incorrect one. Question number 21. Regarding the specific disorder of muscular or skeletal system, choose the correct statement. Osteoporosis is a old age disease caused by reabsorption of calcium and phosphate from bone due to hypersecretion of parathyroid hormone and less secretion of estrogen in post-menopause condition. In this disease, bone becoming fragile and porous. So the answer for this question is option A. Osteoporosis, decrease in bone mass and higher chances of fractures with advancing age. That is a correct statement about the specific disorder of muscle or skeletal system. Question number 22. What does the hyaline cartilage form? Hyaline cartilage, it is mainly made of hyaline and is the most abundant cartilage in the body. The matrix is categorized by bluish color and it is glass-like or translucent. The fibers if present if few and mainly made up of collagen. The answer for this question is option A. Tracheal rings. Hyaline cartilage form tracheal rings. Question number 23. Due to the secretion of dash, the inhibitory effect of the vagus nerve on the heart takes place. Vagus nerve is cranial nerve and it is associated with visceral organs such as lungs, heart, stomach, intestine. The autonomous nervous system controls the heartbeat rate by the cardio-regulatory center that is present in the medulla oblongata. The emergency condition activate the sympathetic motor nerve. It makes the adrenal medulla to release epinephrine and norepinephrine. Acetylcholine is neurotransmitter that is released by the parasympathetic neural system. Glycine and dopamine are neurotransmitters of the central nervous system. So the answer for this question is option C. Acetylcholine. Due to the secretion of acetylcholine, the inhibitory effect of the vagus nerve on the heart takes place. Question number 24. Why is funaria included in bryophytes? Division Bryophyta is also known as the amphibian of the plant group. They are evolved than Thalophyta members. They have an undifferentiated body organization which is haploid gametophyte. However, root-like rhizoids are seen. The stem-like erect part are found and leaf-like parenchymatous appendages also found. The sporophyte is diploid and it is parasitic on the gametophyte. Gametophytes grow in shady, damp places near the water body. So the answer for this question is option C. Its sporophyte is parasitic and attached to the gametophyte. Question number 25. Which of the following can prevent the falling of leaf? Abscission is a phenomena in which plants form a specific cellular layer called abscission layer in the petioles and pedicels. The formation of this layer is stimulated by the growth inhibitor hormone abscisic acid, which is also known as stress hormone. Auxin prevents abscission. So the answer for this question is option B. Auxin can prevent the falling of leaf. Question number 26. In many bacteria, what does the cell membrane become invaginated and folded to form? Bacteria are ubiquitous prokaryotes. They occur anywhere and everywhere, in water, in air, in soil, in all living organisms except the pits of volcanoes, deep strata of rocks, tops of high mountains, and blood of healthy animals. Some thermophilic bacteria can withstand the temperature up to 78 degrees Celsius. So the answer for this question is option B. Mesosomes. Many bacteria, the cell membrane possess several infolded structures which are called as mesosomes. Mesosomes are sites of respiration. Question number 27. What happens to plants that are adapted to low light intensity? The ultimate source of light for photosynthesis in green plants, the radiant energy coming from the sun, which moves in the form of electromagnetic waves out of the total solar energy reaching the earth. About 2% is used in photosynthesis and about 10% is used in other metabolic activities. Light varies in intensity, quality and duration. So the answer for this question is option C. Larger photosynthetic unit size than sun plants. Question number 28. What are the physiological adaptation of people living at higher altitudes? At higher altitudes, the air pressure is low compared to lower altitude. At higher altitudes, the absence of oxygen is sensed by the peripheral chemoreceptors, which causes an increase in breathing rate due to lower oxygen levels at higher altitudes. Kidneys respond by secreting a hormone called as erythropoietin, which stimulates the bone marrow to accelerate the production of RBC. Under these conditions, the body increases RBC production, decreases the binding capacity of hemoglobin, and increases breathing rate. So the answer for this question is option B. From the given three statements, A and C are correctly given. High respiratory rate, increase in RBC production, both are correct. Question number 29. What causes Kira disease of rice? Zinc occur in the soil in the form of complex compounds like magnetite, biotite, and hornblende. When withering of these minerals takes, zinc is liberated in bivalent Zn2 plus form. An increase in soil pH decreases the availability of zinc. So the answer for this question is option A. Due to zinc deficiency causes Kira disease of rice. Question number 30. What is the partial pressure of oxygen in lungs? The partial pressure is the dividing force for the exchange of gases which takes place in the lungs. Partial pressure is the pressure contributed by the individual gas in the mixture of gases. It is represented as PO2 and PCO2. It depends on the exciting concentration of gases, the atmospheric air brought into the alveoli, where the actual exchange of respiratory gas occurs by the process diffusion. Down, the partial pressure gradient for the movement of oxygen from lungs to blood, a gradient partial pressure is present from alveoli to blood as the PO2. The alveoli and blood capillary 104 mm Hg and 40 mm Hg respectively. So in the alveoli 104 mm Hg, in blood capillary that is 40 mm Hg. So the answer for this question is option A. The partial pressure of oxygen in lungs is 104 mm Hg. Question number 31. Biochemical reagents are widely used for the detection of biomolecules. A reagent that specifically detects a carbonyl group in a biomolecule will yield a positive test with the substances formed by a specific chemical bond between fatty acids and alcohol are called as lipids. Digestion of lipids consumed by us is nothing but their conversion into fatty acids and alcohol. Fatty acids are absorbed and distributed everywhere within the body. From those fatty acids, different cells produce various substances necessary to themselves. So the answer for this question is option B, fatty acid. Question number 32. At diakinesis, a mesocyte has 10 pairs of chromosomes. What is the chromosome number expected in each nucleus? Meiosis has two steps, meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. Meiosis 1 is the reduction division. After completing of meiosis 1, only half number of chromosomes are present in the daughter cells compared to mother cells. Meiosis 2 is the equational division. It does not cause any changes in the number of chromosomes in the cells. So as given, there are 10 pairs of chromosomes, that means 20 chromosomes are present in a diakinesis stage of meiocyte. After completion of meiosis 1, there will be only 10 chromosomes in each daughter cells, and the same will be after completion of meiosis 2. So the answer for this question is option B, 10 at the end of first division and 10 at the end of second division. Question number 33. What is the condition in which food is not properly digested leading to a feeling of fullness called as? The condition in which food is not properly digested leading to feeling of fullness is called as indigestion. So the answer is option B, indigestion. Question number 34. Where does fertilization takes place in echinodermata? The members of phylum Echinodermata are spiny-bodied sea creatures which possesses an endoskeleton, that is otherwise called as internal skeleton, composed of calcareous ossicles embedded in the skin. Echinoderms are exclusively marine, bottom-dwelling and free-living animals. They are triploblastic coelentrates which have an organ system levels of organization and unsegmented. The adult form is radially symmetrical while the larva is bilaterally symmetrical. Here, the fertilization takes place outside of the body. So the answer is option B, external. Question number 35. What maintains the resting membrane potential? Neurons are called as excitable cells because their membrane is in the polarized state due to differential concentration of gradient of sodium and potassium ions. Axial lemma is the selectively permeable in nature. In the resting state, the potential difference across the cell membrane of neuron is negative inside the cell with respect to outside. The membrane is said to be polarized. Resting membrane potential is about 70 millivolt. This potential is maintained by the active transport of ions against their gradient by the sodium potassium pump. So the answer is option C, ion pumps. Question number 36. Which of the following is hyperglycemic hormone? Glucagon is commonly called as hyperglycemic hormone or diabetogenic polypeptide hormone. So the answer for this question is option D, glucagon. Question number 37. What is the respiratory quotient of germinating seeds of castor? Respiratory quotient is the ratio of volume of carbon dioxide released to the volume of oxygen taken in respiration, and it is mathematically expressed. The volume of carbon dioxide evolved by volume of oxygen consumed. In germinating seeds, the fats or oil used as the respiratory substrate like germinating seeds, castor, mustard seeds, etc. Respiratory quotient is 0.7. So the answer for this question is less than 1. Question number 38. What is known as sustained state of contraction caused by rapid succession of many stimuli? Muscular dystrophy is a group of inherited disease that damage and weaken your muscles over time. This damage and weakness is due to the absence of protein called as dystrophin, which is necessary for normal muscle function. The absence of this protein can cause problem with walking. So the answer for this question is option C, tetanus. Question number 39. Find out the statements that come under the scope of genetics from the following. Genetics term was coined by Batson in the year of 1905. It is a branch of science which concerned on biological properties and their inheritance from one generation to another. I have same eye color as my mother. So that is the statement that come under the scope of genetics from the following. So the answer for this question is option A. Question number 40. Who are the immediate ancestors of Homo sapiens? The immediate ancestor of Homo sapien is Cro-Magnon man. The name given to this human ancestor was Homo sapien fossils. They were excavated in 1868 from Cro-Magnon rocks of France by MacGregor. They might have evolved 34,000 years ago in the Holocene epoch. So the answer for this question is option C. Immediate ancestors of Homo sapiens sapiens, Cro-Magnon man. Question number 41. Which among the following is not a greenhouse gas? The main greenhouse gases are carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide. So here carbon monoxide also given. The carbon monoxide is not a greenhouse gas. So the correct option is C. Question number 42. Exposure to what causes cancer of prostate gland? The prostate cancer refers to the cancerous growth in the prostate gland. The prostate gland is present in the male reproductive system, which surrounds the urethra just below the urinary bladder. Prostate cancers are generally slow growing. It is a malignant cancer which may spread to other areas of the body, particularly the bones and lymph nodes. So the answer for this question is option B. Cadmium oxide. Due to the exposure of cadmium oxide, prostate cancer takes place. Question number 43. What is the milky water of green coconut? The term triple fusion is used as it involves the fusion of three haploid nuclei. After triple fusion, the central cell becomes primary endosperm. So the answer for this question is option C. Liquid endosperm is the milky water of green coconut. Question number 44. The blood flowing through the umbilical cord is. Pregnancy is established approximately 1 week after fertilization. The blastocyst embeds itself in the thickened wall of the uterus through a process called as implantation. Implantation is followed by the appearance of finger-like projections on the trophoblast called as chorionic villi, which are surrounded by the tissue and maternal blood. So the answer for this question is option B. Only fetal. Blood flowing through the umbilical cord takes place only at fetal. Question number 45. What is the classification of Whittaker's five kingdom system based on? Whittaker's five kingdom system of classification proposed in the year of 1969 based upon the certain characters like mode of nutrition, thallus organization, cell structure, phylogenetic relationship and reproduction. So the answer for this question is option D. From the given, all three statements are correctly given. Question number 46. Modified axillary buds help in climbing in which of the following? Tendrils are the specialized stem or leaf modifications which are thread-like structures used by climbing plants for support, attachment. The parasitic plants use tendrils for the cellular invasion by twinning around the suitable host. So the answer is option A. In cucumber, modified axillary buds in cucumber help in climbing. Question number 47. From the following biogeochemical cycle, which one does not have losses due to respiration? Circulation or exchange of nutrient elements between the living and non-living components of ecosystem is called as nutrient cycle or biogeochemical cycle. Phosphorus, nitrogen and sulfur all from the given biogeochemical cycle, all three does not have losses due to respiration. So the answer for this question is option D. All of the above. Question number 48. Study the given figure showing reproductive structure of female cockroach. Identify the parts labeled as P, Q, R and S. See the diagrammatic representation. We are seeing diagrammatic representation. Q represent the left spermatheca which stores the sperms received from the male during copulation. So that is correctly given. So the option B is correctly given. The P represent ovary of female cockroach which contain 8 long tubules. Q represent spermatheca which stores the sperms. Or represent the collateral gland which helps in the secretion of the outermost covering of the spermatophore. S represent the gonopophysis which help in the process of copulation. So from the given 4 statements, B alone given correctly. Question number 49. If sperms of moss and fern are put together near the archegonium of fern, only the sperms of fern find entry into the archegonium. What is the reason of this? Archegonia of fern secrete mucilage rich in malic acid to attract sperms of fern only. So the answer for this question is option C. Question number 50. Which is the smallest gene in the human genome? TDF gene encodes a transcription factor that is the member of DNA binding proteins. This protein referred to as testis determining factor, that means TDF. It initiates male sex determining and known as sex determining region Y protein, SRY. That is cytogenetic location of TDF gene is YP11. The answer for this question is option D. Both TDF and SRY, the smallest gene in the human genome. Question number 51. Vernalization is seen in plants growing in. Some plants like beet, wheat, etc. require treatment of low temperature besides photoperiodism in order to flower. The treatment of cold in order to flower is called as vernalization. So the answer for this question is option C. Vernalization is seen in the plants which are growing in temperate areas. 52. Name the organisms that have similar sex chromosomes from the following. Sex chromosomes are those chromosomes that participate in sex determination and determine whether the individual is male or female. The human female chromosome is homogametic, XX, and the male chromosome is heterogametic, XY. So the answer for this question is option C. C and D. Human female chromosome determined as XX, that is homogametic, as well as in grasshopper female sex chromosome is homogametic XX and the male grasshopper is X0. So the answer for this question is option C. Question number 53. Why are the predators in nature prudent? If predators overexploit their prey, then prey might become extinct, and thus predators will also become extinct because of the absence of food. So the predation, only one species, that is called as predator, benefit, and the interaction is detrimental to the other species, that is prey. So positive and negative type of population interaction, predators in nature are prudent. So the answer for this question is option B. Question number 54. Read the following statements and find out one that may not be the reason for extinction of biodiversity. There are 4 major causes of biodiversity loss, and it is called as the evil quadrant. which includes habitat loss and fragmentation, overexploitation, alien species invasion, and co-extinction. Proto-cooperation is non-symbiotic natural interaction among two organisms in which both the participants are mutually benefited. So the answer is option C, proto-cooperation. Question number 55. In infected tobacco plant, which of the following vectors has been used for introducing nematode specific gene? Here, tumor inducing plasmid, that is TE plasmid, is plasmid found in pathogenic species of Agrobacterium. TE plasmid contains a region called as tDNA, which is replaced by our gene of interest, that is nematode specific genes, and Agrobacterium is then allowed to infect the tobacco plant. When Agrobacterium infects the tobacco plant, our gene of interest, that is nematode specific gene, also gets inserted in tobacco plant. So the answer is option B, TE plasmid of Agrobacterium. Question number 56. Epitherm is guttation is the process of secreting water droplets from the tiny pores of plants. It happens only to the plants which have vascular systems such as grass, wheat, etc. At night, when the soil is moist, it occurs at that time only. Plant absorbing too much of water results in the increase of root pressure, causing water squeeze out of the plants. Soluble cell components is compelled out of the xylem present in the epitherm tissue. So the answer is option A. Epitherm is associated with guttation. Question number 57. Which of the following is the use of the residue left after methane production from cattle dung? Cow dung and other organic waste are used for biogas production. The residue left after anaerobic digestion or biogas residue is widely used as new green fertilizer in agriculture as manure. So the answer is option C, used as manure. Question number 58. What creates the proton gradient across the thylakoid membrane? In chloroplasts, the generation of a proton gradient across the thylakoid membrane is coupled with ATP synthesis. This coupling of ATP synthesis with the development of proton gradient is done by a British biochemist Peter Mitchell in the year of 1961 in his famous chemiosmotic hypothesis. The chemiosmosis is the process of moving protons across the membrane resulting in the generation of an electrochemical gradient that can be used to drive ATP synthesis. So the answer is option D. All of the statement creates the proton gradient across the thylakoid membrane. Question number 59. Question number 59. Polyembryony is present in which of the following? Polyembryony, the phenomena of development of more than one embryo in one ovule, seed or fertilized ovum is called as polyembryony. So the answer for this question is all of the above. Citrus, mango and allium. Polyembryony is present. Question number 60. Hemp fibers are obtained from which of the following? Hemp fiber are kind of bast fiber which are multicellular and situated in the cortex of stem and encircle the core, cambium and xylem layer. The fiber are made primary and secondary single fibers and are usually take a pericyclic form. So the answer is cortex, option C. Question number 61. How does the protein enter the respiratory pathway? The organic substances which are oxidized to produce energy during respiration are called as respiratory substrate. Carbohydrates are main respiratory substrates as our food contains 65 to 70% carbohydrates. The most preferred substrate is glucose. So the answer for this question is option A. Protein enter in the respiratory pathway in the form of pyruvate. Question number 62. All of the following sexually transmitted diseases are curable if detected early and treated properly, except sexually transmitted diseases, except genital herpes. The genital herpes can be curable while you are taking treatment. It is detected early stage, can be curable. Other than genetic herpes, the gonorrhea, chancroid, chlamydia are not curable. So the answer for this question is option D, genital herpes. Question number 63. From which of the following is timber is obtained from? Family Leguminaceae or Fabaceae is one of the largest angiosperm family. It features a large number of plants. We are getting several economically valuable products, dyes, food crops, invasive species such as acacia, a service called as bushclo, and some plants are ornamentals. Timber, example, Dipteryx oleifera, Abrus, Precoterius, sun hemp. So the answer for this question is option C, leguminosa. Question number 64. Name the human organ that is often called as graveyard of RBC. Erythrocytes or red blood cells are most prevalent cells in the blood. A healthy adult possesses approximately 4.5 to 5.5 million of RBC per cubic mm blood. Here, spleen is commonly called as graveyard of RBC. So the answer for this question is option A, spleen. Question number 65. Decomposers like fungi and bacteria are. Most of the bacteria and fungi are decomposers. They are saprophytic, a type of heterotrophic nutrition. They feed on dead and decaying organic matter. So the answer for this question is option C. Second and third is correctly given, heterotrophs and saprotrophs. Question number 66. Which one of the following is not found in TMB? Papillomares are part of envelope that is not found in tobacco mosaic virus. Other than papillomares, capsomeres are present, helical capsid is present, spirally wound RNA is present. So the answer is option B. It is not found. Question number 67. What is the skin color in man and example of? A polygenic trait is the trait that is governed by more than one gene. Example, human skin color, which is governed by 3 pairs of genes. So the answer is option A. Polygenic inheritance is the skin color in man. It's an example of polygenic inheritance. Question number 68. If TSH level high in blood, it indicates a level of TSH are regulated by negative feedback of thyroxine hormone. Hypothyroidism resulting in the absence of negative feedback to pituitary. So the answer is option A. Question number 69. Name the RNA that should be most abundant in an animal cell. Among 3 types of RNA, ribosomal RNA associates a set of proteins to form ribosomes, make up 80% of RNA molecule. Messenger RNA makes around 1 to 3% only. Transfer RNA around 5 to 15%. So the answer is option A, ribosomal RNA. Question number 70. Refer to the given graph representing interplay of different hormones A to D during menstrual cycle in women and answer the question the following. Which hormone A, B, C or D is necessary for final follicular growth of ovulation? See the diagrammatic representation here. The A, B, C, D represent estrogen, FSH follicular stimulating hormone, LH luteinizing hormone. So the answer for this question is option C. Is C is necessary for final follicular growth ovulation. Question number 71. In the cell cycle, the sequence of events by which a cell duplicates its genome, synthesizes the other constituents of the cell and eventually divides into two daughter cells is termed as cell cycle. During interphase, division phase alternate with each other. So the answer for this question is option D. The cell cycle, interphase and division phase alternate with each other. Question number 72. In which period the birds originated? Long before the Demis dinosaurs, modern birds originated 100 million years ago. Studies have shown discrepancies between the result from fossils and genetic analysis. In searching for the first ancestor of modern birds, Archaeopteryx was a Jurassic period bird which had teeth in its beak, and it is a connecting link between reptiles and birds. So the answer for this question is option B, Cretaceous period. During Cretaceous period, birds originated. Question number 73. Tobacco consumption is known to stimulate the secretion of adrenaline and noradrenaline, the component causing the alkaloid. Nicotine is neurostimulator which stimulates adrenal gland to release adrenaline and noradrenaline into blood circulation. So the answer for this question is option A, nicotine. Question number 74. Go through the following matches regarding the flower. Based on the position of ovary, flowers can be classified into three types: hypogynous, perigynous, and epigynous. See the diagrammatic representation which is given very clearly in the textbook. When the sepals, petals, and stamens are attached to the receptacle below the ovary, it is known as hypogynous. In this case, ovary is said to be superior. When the sepals, petals, and stamens are combined at the base to form a cup-shaped structure called as hypanthium inserted beneath the ovary is said to be perigynous. The ovary in case superior, example cherry. When sepals, petals, stamens arise from the top of the ovary or from the hypanthium that is inserted above the ovary, it is known as epigynous. The ovary is epigynous flower inferior. So the answer is option B. Second one in plum, perigynous. Fourth one, peach, perigynous. Second and fourth is correctly matching. Question number 75. Which statement is false? The kidney produces a concentrated urine by establishing a high concentration of salt and urea surrounding the collecting duct. A is correctly given. B. The hypothalamus is a region of the hindbrain important in regulating cardiovascular functions such as heart rate and blood pressure is given. That is wrong. Forebrain or prosencephalon is the anterior most part of the brain. It forms three parts: cerebrum, olfactory lobes, and diencephalon. Diencephalon is the last part of the forebrain lying below the corpus callosum and above midbrain. It is entirely covered by cerebral hemisphere. It is a small hollow median structure having the thalami, which are pair of gray oval bodies forming lateral walls of the diencephalon. So the answer for this question is option B, that is incorrectly given. C also correctly given. D also correctly given. Question number 76. Which of the following is an incorrect statement? The event of cardiac cycle. See the option A, the duration of joint diastole is 0.4 second. That is correct. B, fall in ventricular pressure lead to closing of semilunar valve in the beginning of ventricular diastole. That also correctly given. The duration of atrial systole is shorter than ventricular diastole. That also correct. D, the atrioventricular valves remain open during ventricular systole. So that is incorrect. So the option D is incorrect statement during the events of cardiac cycle. Question number 77. The hormones bound with the cell membrane of target cell generate secondary messengers upon interaction with the receptor. Which of the following is not an example of secondary messenger? The hormone which do not enter inside the target cell generally bind to the membrane bound receptor and generate secondary messengers inside the cell. After the formation of hormone receptor complex, the cytosolic part of the receptor produces secondary messenger like CAMP, CGMP, calcium, inositol triphosphate, DAG, etc. So the answer for this question is option D, potassium. Potassium is not an example of secondary messenger. Question number 78. Subunits of prokaryotic ribosomes are: prokaryotes contain 70S type of ribosome. It is made up of a small subunit 30S and a large subunit 50S. So the answer is option B, 50S and 30S. Question number 79. Which one of the following sets of animals belong to single taxonomic group? It is the science of classifying organisms to construct internationally shared classification system which each organism placed into more and more inclusive groupings. Here, monkey, chimpanzee and man put together in a single taxonomic group. So the answer for this question is option C. Question number 80. The macromolecule chitin. Chitin is nitrogen containing complex homopolysaccharide. It is large molecule made up of repeating units N-acetyl glucosamine joined to each other with the help of beta linkages. So the answer is option C, nitrogen containing polysaccharides. Question number 81. The migratory birds that are seen in Calodio National Park during winter come from: migration is strategy adopted by certain bird population to avoid abiotic stress like extreme temperature. Every winter, the famous Calodio National Park in Bharatpur, Rajasthan, hosts thousands of migratory birds coming from Siberia and other extremely cold northern regions. So the answer is option B, extremely cold northern regions. Question number 82. Bentham and Hooker differentiate series in monoclamidiae numbering. Bentham and Hooker divided monoclamidia into 8 series in the book Genera Plantarum, namely Garvambriae, Multiolate, Aquatic Multiolate, Terrestrae, Microembriae, Dapnels, A. chlamydophore, unisexuals, and Erdins anomaly. So the answer is option C, 8. Question number 83. Drosophila melanogaster was found to be suitable for experiments by T.H. Morgan due to some of its specific features. These features are all except first one is clear differentiation of sexes, easy growth on simple synthetic medium in the laboratory. They complete their life cycle within 2 weeks. So due to these are the reasons T.H. Morgan selected Drosophila melanogaster except single mating. Single mating produces small number of progeny. Flies are given. By single mating, Drosophila produce large number of progenies. So the incorrect one is option D. Question number 84. In a hydrophyte, the submerged leaves compensate for the roots that plant belonging to the category of. Hydrophytes are the plants adapted to live in aquatic environment. Free-floating hydrophytes roots remain embedded in mud and the leaves float on water surface. Hence, submerged leaves compensate for roots. Examples include Pistia, Wolfia, Icarnia. So the answer is option B, free-floating hydrophytes. Question number 85. Amoeba Proteus is. Amoeba Proteus is an amoeba related to another genus of giant amoeba, Chohas. It utilizes pseudopodia to move and eat smaller unicellular organisms. Pseudopodia are finger-like temporary structures which are composed of both ectoplasm and endoplasm. They are formed as result of liquefaction and flowing forward of the amoeba cytoplasm. Amoeba Proteus is the polypodial species of because it forms many pseudopodia are formed simultaneously. So the answer is option C, polypodial protozoan. Question number 86. The first clinical gene therapy trial was given in the year of 1990 to a 4-year-old girl with adenosine deaminase. The answer for this question is option B. Question number 87. Visual purple is present in. Rhodopsin is present in the of human eye. So the answer for this question is option A, rods. The rods contain pigments helps to see in dim lights. That means 88. The beads on strings is nucleosome. DNA that is negatively charged wraps around the positively charged histone octamer in a nucleosome. About 200 base pairs are present in DNA. Chromatin. These are thread-like stained bodies in which repeating units of nucleosomes with DNA in between. Under electron microscope, chromatin appears as beads on string. So the answer is option B. Nucleosomes in chromatin looks beads on string. Question number 89. From the below box, how many features are commonly found in mitochondria and chloroplast? There are 4 found in both mitochondria and chloroplast. Membrane bound, both chloroplast and mitochondria are membrane bound cell organelles, contain 70s type of ribosomes. 4 are commonly seen in mitochondria and chloroplast. Question number 90. This is the last question. Which of the following is correct about nucleolus? Nucleolus is rounded structure present inside nucleus having ribosomal RNA, first absorbed by Fontana in the skin cells of heel. Term nucleolus was coined by Baumann. It is associated with nucleolar organizer region of the nucleolar chromosome. Rounded structures inside the nucleus and having ribosomal RNA, that is correct one. Option B is correct about nucleolus. Thank you very much for listening our videos. Those who are watching our videos, you are requested to like, subscribe and share to your friends. All the best.